Welcome back, my dear students. So in this lecture, we are going to be making our application look a lot better than what it does right now. We don't have styles. It's pretty boring. I know. We're just gonna make this awesome, all right? So, are you guys ready? Let's do it. So the way to do this would be to include some CSS inside our public folder here. Now, you could, if you wanted to, use npm, download a package in the node modules folder, and go ahead and inside your layouts, include it. You put no /node modules here, whatever, and you follow that to the bootstrap file, right? We could do that if we wanted to, but no, I like my application styles to be there, especially when we launch this online, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's go to that blog home directory or folder that I gave you, those files. Make sure that you go to the CSS, and what you want to do is you want to dump that inside your public in your project right here. So you want to go and copy it. It's better to copy it, don't lose that file, right? And go to that vendor bootstrap and make sure you go to the CSS and also dump there bootstrap.min. Okay, that's all you got to do inside your public. So now here in my IDE, you can see that that's there, right? Oops, in the what am I doing? Okay, now what we want to do, and what I like to do, is create another directory called CSS, just to keep that in there, because I'm going to have other things in here. I'm just going to drag that in there, and that way it's separate from, and let's just create that right now, from our JS or JavaScript files. And yes, we can have some JavaScript files to do some external things. And let's just create another directory called uploads. All right. Okay. So now going back to home.handlebars, which is inside the layouts folder, inside the views folder, of course, which is located there. Let's go and just make sure that there's a / there, and goes to CSS bootstrap.min, CSS block home. Okay, right here. So now our application, it's being refreshed by Nullman, right? So if we make any changes to our root or JavaScript, it's listening to it, but refresh, and now that should work. Okay, as you can see now, our application is working awesome. Now we do need to make a couple changes, because right now it's just showing our template. It's showing only, it's not even showing anything, some of the pages that we want. For example, if we make another route, and I will, just to show you, let's copy this whole thing, because most of our routes are going to be the same, right? We want this in a separate file later, but just to, for demonstration purposes only, I'm going to make another route, and let's go and create this about inside our views, inside our home, and let's do handlebars. So about that handlebars, I got this little live code there, or a template, that it adds my extension every time I want to create a new file. I got different extensions here, so we can edit file templates here, and that's how I was able to use handlebars, okay, in this IDE. Anyway, so let's create a h1 here and call it about. And if we go back to app.js, we can see that it's, make sure that it renders home about. We don't need a / here, guys. It doesn't work like that, because by default our application is looking inside the views directory, so we don't need / before the home. We need it after, and we don't need the extension, remember that, because it knows we're using handlebars. Okay, so now if we go to that route, or that route, like some people call it, depending where you're from, let's go, come back here, about, you can see nothing here. Okay, now our about is working, and don't get me wrong, it is working. We could really show this by doing send like that, and refresh here, and you can see that it is something is going on. It is working. Okay, now we want to render something, but in order for the render to work, we need to go to our template and tell it, listen, I want you to show me dynamic content. I don't want you to show me this page all the time. So for us to actually, make it so that it works, we need to use this as a template, as what it was meant to be. So what I want to do is I want to take out a lot of stuff out of here and take it to the index. I'm going to leave everything inside this div container. So what I want to do is I want to separate. Remember, we are in home.handlebars. So I'm going to separate everything, and I'm just going to take everything inside the row div. So let's go back here. Let's see where the row div is. And this is going to be a difficult one, trying to find that div. I forgot there is a shortcut that would allow me to traverse up and find that div. There we go, right here. So inside here, I'm just going to take everything off from here. And I could, if I wanted to, and this just makes it easier. You see that? And take that whole thing out of here. Now what we got here is a container. Now I did Command C or Control C, okay, to cut it, because what I want to do is I want to go to index. Make sure you have an index.handlebars inside the home directory and paste that in there. I'm going to expand it by doing plus. We have that content there. What we want to do here is want to make sure that whatever route we make has its own content. And by doing that, we need to make sure that our template is showing dynamic data. So we do this by doing this. Curly brackets 3 times, then body, and then curly brackets again 3 times. And now our application knows that what comes here is dynamic data. Okay? So we can go to our index, and this was just for demonstration purposes, okay? And let's just go here, and page heading is just gonna be about here. Okay. And actually not about, that's the home page. Sorry about that. Home. Okay. So let's go to the about page, and it has this H1 there. Remember that. So let's go here to our application. Let's go to home page and see what happens. Okay, we got home page. Let's make this a little smaller. Okay, home page. Great. Let's go to about and see what happens. About. And as you can see, about still has the navigation and the footer, and it doesn't have the middle content that we stripped out and put it in the index, right? It doesn't have that. So it has the about data only, but it does keep everything else around the same. Okay, so now we have our application showing dynamic data by just doing a simple change here with this variable, which is pretty cool, right? We also have our application with really cool styles. Now what we're going to do in the next lecture, and what I want to do is I want to actually create some type of folder directory and keep partials, keep different parts of our application there, like includes, okay, like I do in most of my courses. So we are going to just take down this navigation, put it in a navigation file, maybe take down the footer, just in case we want to do other things with it later on. I'll show you how to do that with handlebars later on the next video. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you guys are having a lot of fun. See you next.